Iselo todo ya tai. Tushale ya ka. Ikiri burge ka. Se tore se kita tai ta. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel on YouTube. I'm Spirit Mother Teachings of Going Within, Spirit to Spirit Teachings of Going Within Self. I recently changed it because it was Spirit Mother Teachings of Going Within, and come to the conclusion like it's Spirit to Spirit, as I had stated many times. Right now, my heart is racing because today I'm talking about my experiences with the medical system, and it was very very traumatizing in many ways. Basically, right, younger, but it was more so after I was in my car accident. 6. Okay. Before I get started, I always read from my cards, and I'd like to welcome you in. Okay. Okay. I don't believe in pessimism. If something doesn't come up the way you want, forge ahead. If you think it's going to rain, it will. Okay, so it's like basically the way in which we think. Okay, I'm sharing my experiences to kind of give people a better understanding that when you go through this stuff, you're not alone. There are many people going through it in many similar ways, and we go through it for a reason. And I know that it doesn't feel that way sometimes, and that's because it's like, why? Like, why is this happening? Why am I going through this? But it's trying to show you something. It's trying to explain something to you. Before I get started, like I said, I was in a car accident in 2006, a major car accident. And in the beginning, like they how do I explain it? I was taken to the hospital, and they were checking, and the first doctor it was pretty good. But the doctors after that, they become very belligerent and very patronizing. And I was going through stuff where I would just kind of like go unconscious. I would go in freeze frame, where it'd be like I could be sitting there talking to someone, or I could be walking, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and I'm frozen, right still, and there's no blinking or nothing. And I got to the point where I had to tell people, like, don't touch me, because if you touch me, you might want to be ready to catch me, because whatever is going on, you're taking that and you're kind of moving it. So it's just like down. I'm going to show you a video that got caught on at my building where I was living at the time. It got caught on the front entry camera. And this is what I was going through. And then I will get to, okay. Okay. Oh, crap. Okay. Some may not be able to see that. Okay. It's just, I don't know if I adjust my light, because it's it's sucky when you get the reflection and you don't know where the reflection is coming from. So I'll do it this way. I was literally going unconscious, and I was not far from smashing my head off of the door there. It was just like I'm standing there, and all of a sudden, it's like it's something would shut down. And through the many years, I was going to get help with this, and they kept saying, "Oh, it's mental health. It's mental health. It's mental health. You have conversion disorder. You have this disorder." Meanwhile, I'm going unconscious, and and when I'm by myself, it's like you're there, and then all of a sudden, you smash into the floor. So I had a lot of brain injury, and they did a personality, kind of like a personality test on me, and they said I had an IQ of 89. And yeah, well, it's like there's an energy, an entity, or what have you, like a part of that, of a part of spirit, but it's not a good spirit. It's like, we don't want you telling your story. It's like, it's about time people start telling their story. Okay. I do speak through spirit. Okay. It's different versions of spirit that had this experience, because I was meant to have these experiences to see what was going on in this world, because we're here to make changes. We're here to fix a system that never worked to begin with. I don't know what that means. They say, oh, should I create? No, cancel. Okay. On many times when I went to the doctor, like I ended up having to go to Alberta, because I was asking my doctor for testing done, and my doctor was like, "No, like we're not doing any more testing. We already did stuff," even though stuff was showing up, and I actually have the MRIs and stuff. But that's in my past. But it's to point out like how our system is it's a broken system, and it was a system that never worked to begin with. Not in the way that it should be, because in the system, like doctors are supposed to be listening to their patients, and a lot of them don't, because they're too busy picking up. They're too busy saying, "Well, I read this in this book. I'm going to go to the book, and this is what it says." Okay, I'm not saying that there's not good doctors out there, because there are. There are actually good doctors out there that are very understanding. But I just happen to come across a lot of the ones that, like, it was like, "Oh no, well, yeah," right? So this, I wrote letters and everything. I was like, they were giving me a medication, and then they took the medication. They took the pain meds from me. So what I ended up doing was I ended up taking like crap piles of ibuprofen and Advil, and just popping it all the time, not using food or nothing, just trying to escape the pain, because my whole body was in pain. I just wanted to take my head and shove it in a crevice. It was like I was going totally bonkers. I didn't want to be in this world no more. And I'd go to the doctor, and I'd explain. And then in 2008, I went to my doctor, and I asked them to send me for a PET scan. No, we're not. Like, what? Because the MRIs were showing things, but it was like, what have you, and they were doing this. I actually had a doctor in 2007 actually physically abused me, because they took and they twisted my arm, and they hoisted it right up, and it was like it was hurting, and I was crying. And that happened like quite a few times, where they became abusive. And when I went to this doctor and said about going for a PET scan, well, they wouldn't send me for one. So the money that I had received from an insurance company, because of my accident, it was my own automobile insurance. I settled with them, because I wanted to get this test done. So I took the money, and I took my mom, and we went up to Alberta. But before going, I went and I seen my therapist, and I told my therapist what I was planning to do. That I was paying for the PET scan, that a certain doctor was going to like help me out up in another province, and what have you. And it's like don't tell my, like, I asked her, like don't say anything to my doctor, because my doctor said no. So I'm paying for this out of my own pocket, and I go up, and I get the PET scan, and I come home with it, and I went to my doctor, and I went to show her the PET scan. She was like, no. And then she told me that she was dropping me as her patient because it was a breach of trust. Well, if it was a breach of trust, it was a breach of trust on my end, because in that PET scan, it said that I had an impaired cerebral metabolism, which is an impairment in the glucose getting to the brain. Okay, so it's the fluid getting to the brain. It wasn't getting there right. So it was causing me to go unconscious. And she wouldn't look at it. And she said, because I went and had this test done, I didn't trust her. Well, no, I didn't trust her. And I had good reason not to trust her. And then I went back to my therapist because she said about my therapist telling her that I went. So I went back to my therapist and I told my therapist, like, you breached my trust. Like that had nothing to do with me trying to harm someone or harm myself. I was going to help myself. And it kept going and I wasn't getting help. So I was like literally going unconscious. Like it didn't matter where I was. I just had to get down, and I felt like everything was caving in on me. I went to the hospital because I had been spitting up blood because I would go unconscious. And there, that video that I showed you when I went unconscious, they called the ambulance. Okay, because they had to carry me in, and I could feel them. Like I could feel them grinding here. I could feel them like digging in my toenails. I could feel them scraping my feet. I could feel them like just gouging at me. It was painful, and I would cry, but I couldn't do nothing. When I was unconscious, I could feel everything, but I couldn't respond. And when they took me to the hospital, I said this, I had one, like I was just kind of catatonic, and she was scraping, and my eyes are open and there's no motion. I'm not moving, and she's digging in my feet and everything like that. And I'm not moving, and like my body's not responding to it. And she says out to the people, to the other nurses and doctors, oh, well, we have someone here playing cat and mouse with us. It's like, that pisses me off. And I could feel that fury within me. It's like, if you're someone that is doing that to people, you're going to get back what you dished out. And it's not going to be from me, because like, it's like, do you see what you're doing to people? And if you do see, then whatever you get, it's only because you put it out there. I do not wish harm on anyone. But it's like people like causing harm for other people. Have I ever caused any harm for other people? I've thrown a stick at my sister and got her in the eye. That was because I was younger, and I have had a temper. Like I can be like very calm, but when I get to a point where I've just had enough, I'm not going to be I'm not usually physically violent, because I don't believe in violence. I don't believe that violence is the way of resolving something. Sometimes we use our voice. So she was doing that. And then I've had the ambulance treat me like a piece of crap. After in 2014, I went for surgery. I went to have a hysterectomy. Okay. And I was nervous. Like I just had this feeling something was off. Something didn't feel right. And my body was saying, run, run, run. But I was sitting with it because it was this experience that I had to go through. And I went into the operating room, and the nurse, she put the IV in. She was very rough putting the IV in, and you could see basically under the skin because she wasn't paying attention. And then all of a sudden, like this, the solution that they put in your arm, well, she took and she squeezed it really hard. So when she squeezed it really hard, it backlashed. So when it backlashed, instead of it going into the IV, it backlashed all over my skin. So she took a towel and she just started blotting like this. When after she got done blotting, she took the tape and she just started wrapping it around my arm. Instead of taking it out and starting all over again, she wrapped it around my arm. And she says to me, let's hope that it doesn't come out during surgery. At that time, I didn't know that when they put you under halfway through surgery, they bring you out to like halfway out to check your vital signs and what have you. Okay. So with me, where the solution didn't go in my arm, when they brought me halfway out, I didn't just come halfway out. I came all the way. I feel I'm starting to cry right now. And when I came all the way out, like everything was still black, okay? But I could feel and like I could kind of hear, but what I was feeling was them cutting my insides and pulling it out through my vagina. I was screaming bloody blue murder. I was screaming for my mom. And then I felt a mask come over my face and I felt cold solution go in my arm. Now, they're supposed to keep you in the recovery after you get out of surgery. They're supposed to keep you in the recovery room until you wake up and you're stable. Except that's not what they did with me. I woke up in my room alone in pain. I do not like our medical system. It harms people. It causes a lot of mental and bodily harm, physical harm to people. Not everybody experiences it. But when you're getting like radiation, chemo, stuff like that, that's actually causing harm to your body, more harm than what sometimes cancer can cause, because it's like they're always diagnosing something by looking at one thing, but they're not going any deeper. Because I have a video here, okay, where I'm in and I went in because I was spitting up blood and I had been having a lot of abdominal pain. Okay? Dice que la todeta Jesús, solamente crueta, tu le putu di to kai to ke sa. Sigre, e kula parigara skola krea koi. Kia sa secreto, ke greto todeta. I'm going to find that video, okay? And I'm going to let you hear it because I have a lot of things on here. I have a few Facebook groups because I know what it's like to have a severe concussion. Because whenever I go unconscious and I'd come around, like after my car accident, I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk properly. I couldn't walk. Like it was like a baby learning things all over again. And it was like a constant stutter, and I'd feel like I was trying to push it. And people thought that I was faking it. And I wasn't faking it. What I went through, I'm going to tell you, what I went through, I would not wish it on my worst enemy. Because it was utter torture. It's like, like I even have, videos where I'm explaining all the stuff that I was experiencing. One where I'm really crying, like crying really. This is it right here.
I think they talked to Lana. Was it this? So short? How'd that go? I explain things here.
Okay.
Listen to the conversation.
I have a question. I have heart arrhythmia. Can that just exhibit signs of anxiety?
No.
I was diagnosed with it.
Yeah. So I don't know enough about that, and that's not a real, I don't know enough about it.
Well, I asked because everybody's saying anxiety.
Sure.
So that's why I asked the question.
Sure. And I think Dr. Giffen would probably be able to answer that better than me, because I don't know enough about the past history. I don't have all that. Okay. Heart arrhythmia is not really a diagnosis. It's something just saying that's not a diagnosis. There's different types of arrhythmia, but heart arrhythmia is not a diagnosis.
So then, if it's not a diagnosis, why did they say it?
So
if it's not a diagnosis, then it's neither here nor there, so it's not unthinkable.
Sure. So, no, I don't disagree with that, but I'm not going to fight with that. Just
Well,
saying
I'm not
that.
trying to fight with you. It's just allegedly.
So we start with our belly pain. So let's go back to the belly pain. So I'm trying to serious in your abdominal CT scan. I think it's safe to let you go. The heart arrhythmia is about 12 different types of arrhythmias. So I don't know what type they thought you had.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna stop it there for a second. Did you hear the first thing he said? He said heart arrhythmia was not real. And then in another sentence just now, he said that there's 12 different types of heart arrhythmia or what have you. So it's like, okay, they say correta taetoi.
That's what I was trying to say. It's not a diagnosis in and of itself. There's all different types of heart arrhythmias. We call them dysrhythmias, but just atrial fibrillation.
My head was on the 2-2-0-0.
So
I don't know if you can hear it.
What do you suppose is causing the belly pain?
Well,
Well, it's not actually just belly pain. It's right into my back and right up my spine.
sure.
And it comes up through here, right up into here.
So 30% of the time we never figure out a reason. So the body's mysterious, and sometimes it causes pain. You rule out mysterious pain. You're not really sure what's happening, but you don't have an obstruction.
So that's from here down?
The whole thing. We've got the whole thing.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Right down to here. Yeah. Now we got a big scan. Got a big expensive test.
We got a big scan, a big expensive scan.
No, but it's one of the big.
Okay. See, a doctor is not supposed to say that to you. They say so that come after I was at Costco and I went unconscious. I was actually with someone, and that person in that video that you see moving was actually one of the people that freaking kept telling me, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with you. The doctors say there's nothing wrong with you. And that person actually treated me like a piece of shit through all this. Okay. And I have to forgive them for it because they don't know what they say or do. But, like when somebody keeps telling you something and you're a loved one, and then when something happens with you, you expect that person to be there for you? Seriously. Where do you get off even thinking that the person would want to be there for you when you weren't there for them? All you did was treat them like a piece of crap. Like they were a faker. Meanwhile, they're freaking like unwell. So I was in Costco with that person. And I was standing there and we were tasting. Yeah, they asked me if I wanted to taste it. And I said, no. And then all of a sudden I said, I'm go. And that's when they grabbed my arm to catch me. And they couldn't hold me because they were disabled. So they let me go. They just let me go. And when they let me go, my body slammed. And when my body slammed, my hip slammed into the floor. When my hip slammed into the floor, this part of my body went up and it folded, like it totally folded me right over. And then my head smashed, my face smashed and my head smashed, and I couldn't hold my head up. And I was unconscious on the floor. I could still hear everything. And that person there was in the background saying, Tara, come on, get the fuck off the floor. You're in the middle of the fucking floor. Get out of the middle of the fucking floor. Come on. And I couldn't move. So do I have respect for that person? No, that person is going to earn my respect. Because when I needed the help, they weren't there. And after that happened, like, they just, come on, get up, come on, get up. Like, you're in the middle of the floor. So when I woke up, I said, fuck you off. And then I was back out again, catatonic. I had this one woman, she was there next to me. She was a caring woman. She was holding my hand and telling me it was going to be okay. And I'm scared as I don't know what. And they're saying about calling the ambulance. And when I come around, it's like, no, don't call them. Because all they ever do is friggin' hurt me. I couldn't move. They had to lift me in the wheelchair, and my head was dropping. And this person was getting mad at me. The person that told me that they loved me and cared about me. So do I respect them? No. But they want respect when they showed me none. It's not just me crying, it's the whole. It's like, how can you treat someone like that and friggin' say that you love them? Seriously, where is your moral compass? Where is your fucking heart? When you do that to people, you're no better than the people that already treated them like a piece of shit. And when you go through shit like that alone, it is far from easy. So I couldn't even hold my head up. And this person was getting angry at me. And I wouldn't go with the ambulance. I told them no, because they're just going to treat me like crap anyways at the hospital. So I went home. And I had no one with me. I had 3 dogs and no one with me. So I called my cousin. And I'm very grateful. My cousin came. It was like off and on. But that cousin was really the only person that was there. And then I started experiencing things where it was like my body was crushing from the inside out. It was like I was being squashed from the inside out. And it was like bubbles. I even posted pictures and a video on my Facebook where I had been throwing up. Okay. But when I was throwing up, it was so intense. It was painful. And what I was throwing up was a clear, thick fluid full of crystals. And it's not about looking for sympathy from anybody. It's about saying, like, how can you treat someone like that and then expect them to have any amount of respect for you or even want to help you? But I've stayed around to help. as many times as I just wanted to rip this person a whole new one and throw them through the freaking wall for the way they were with me, I still care about them and see and want good things for them. There's not many people that would want that. They would want ill on that person. So this one day, like I had been spinning up, like throwing up. It was really intense. And the same person was there and they were getting angry at me. Through the whole, since 2006, this person treated me like crap. Because when I had my car accident, they got called. Okay? I got on the phone. And they asked me if I was okay. Well, of course, I'm going to tell them that I'm okay. Even though I didn't even know if I was, I told them I was okay. And then they started going on about the fucking car being a car right. Yes, I believe the car is a write-off. And they went off on me. So I hung up. You were more fucking worried about a damn car than they were worried about a person they said they loved. They made a vow. And I don't care if this person is hearing me or listening. Maybe you need to be. And then wonder why or know why. It's like, how many times have you done that? How many times have you treated somebody like shit and then figured that you should get something good in return? And I still give people the benefit of the doubt. And why do I give people the benefit of the doubt? Because everybody has been through their own shit. Trying to find that the one real person that I truly have to be grateful for is my mom in a lot of ways, because my mom was consistent. Even if we fought and disagreed, my mom was the consistent one. She was the one that was there when I needed her, as I was with her. We had a falling out. Dice colectoria son mi alma. Kiriotoria shale. Secret to get that. Sorry. No, it's back here. Yeah. Dice rotoe. Secresa. Si tu secretamente tu. I did have it I did have a picture posted, and it was I don't know what it was. Here it is. If you actually look, you look right there. That's the bubble. That's the bubble I was blowing. And then when I called the ambulance come in and they treated me like shit again. And instead of putting me on a gurney, they made me walk to the ambulance. And I wasn't they were freaking dragging me. Come on, you gotta walk. Come on. This person that I'm speaking of, whenever I went to the hospital, I was alone. That was the first time that they went. And then I told them, like, I got to go to a different hospital. I got to go somewhere else. So we went to the next province over. My body felt like it was on fire. It was like freaking severe frostbite. It was like I was dipped in that, like a cold freeze or whatever it's called. And it was just like all throughout my body. I had periods in the hospital, sitting in emergency room, and I got treated like crap, like I was having anxiety, in which what was actually happening was, it was like I was feeling something traveling up my body, like a bubble traveling up my body, and it was going up my body and up my body and up my body. And then it was like it was in my brain and just went poof. And there was like a, but this person kept leaving me alone. Whenever I try talking to people, well, the doctors aren't wrong. But like I said, when it came to them, the doctors were wrong. It's not about holding it against them. It's saying, hey, like, how can you treat someone like that? Him, this person the main person I'm talking about, I was still there with them. I came out of the victim because I didn't stand up for myself. But when you have somebody playing victim all the time and you're telling them, that they're playing victim, like you're fucking complaining because you have a pain in your back in that aspect. And see, when this person went through something big, I was there and I put up with the shit and abuse, but I didn't abuse anybody because I didn't have the energy to do anything. Every time I went to the hospital, within a 2 to 3 month period between the hospital and walk-in clinics about 15 times with the same problem. Meanwhile, I was just suffocating. I had home care coming in. They wanted to get me to the hospital and everything. They could see it. But when your own family, your own loved ones, the ones that are there and they love you, and I'll still stand with them because you're listening to someone other than the person that was actually experiencing it. Because you were told this person has a mental health issue. This person is seeking attention. This person is that. This person is this. I got no respect for the medical system. I really have no respect for any of the systems because they are not for the people. They're for the pocketbook. And they wonder why people are leaving the jobs of the medical system. It's because they see right through it. It's not because they don't really care about the people. They see the systems for what they are. People are fine. Like my mom had COPD. And they put her in a hospice or something like that. The last part of death. And they hooked her up to to respiratories and stuff like that and just kept doping her up for the pain. And then someone in my family found out that that's not where she should have been at that time. I even was, I was unwell myself. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I found out that my mom was wanting to be put on a list for a lung transplant. And if I had known that then, I would have been saying, hey, put me in one bed, put her in another bed, and take my lung. Whether it left me with one or not, I was stronger. When my step-grandfather was dying from liver cancer, I wanted to give him a piece of my liver because I was an automatic donor. You say what you want to think. You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through or what anybody else has been through. The same as nobody knows what you've been through. So when you throw shade on someone and you say, oh, you just want attention, go pound sand. People go through pain alone. And when they have no one and they feel they have no one, that's what plays on them. They're reaching out for help. They're putting their hand out for help, and you're going, fuck you. Help yourself. People are trying to help themselves. So when I get infuriated, or someone gets infuriated, maybe that's when you need to take a look and ask yourself, why is this person so irate with me? Because it's not just my spirit, it's other spirits that have gone through this time and time and time and time again. And they come to people like myself, like you, and they reach out for the help. God puts these people in these positions. It's finding the heart. So I just stopped asking for help. And my whole body just started dying. And then I had one family member that wanted to get me help because they were actually taking the time to see. Because I was seeing through another part. It was like I was looking through. And I was seeing, lying in a bed, and when it was happening, and I could feel myself dying, I was trying to chase it. I was trying to bring it back to me. Because I was leaving my body. And it was going like this. And I was in panic. And then that day that it got really, that I couldn't hold on no more. I laid on my couch and I let myself go. I felt myself go into shock, and then I had to let go of it. It's hard enough dying with someone next to you. But when you're dying and you know that it's happening and there's no one there, you come back as a whole other person when you come back. And I saw the light. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let me remember what I went into because I wouldn't want it to come back here. But I chose to come back to tell my story, experience. And then I started going through other experiences, and I just never asked for help anymore. Because every time I asked for help, I got treated like a piece of shit. And it's the part of, like, even though there's a part of me that says, screw you, like, why the hell should I ever help you with anything? I still do. It's like, it's not about being Cinderella. It's about showing others that you can come out from that depth of despair, of dismay. You can come up, but you choose not to. Because you continue to live in self-pity and you want pity from others and you want to play a victim. The real victims are the ones that are left to themselves. When they reach out for help and nobody helps them. But then when they come up out of that depth and they become higher within themselves and they start achieving things, you want to pull them back down because you don't want to do the work to get where that person is. You want to bring them down to your level because you don't want to do the work. Seriously. And I'm not throwing shade on you. I'm saying, like, instead of throwing attacks at people, instead of trying to ridicule someone to drag them back down with you because you're afraid to look at your experiences, things you've done, things you've experienced, and letting go of it. I talk with people because I want them to hear themselves and what they're saying. I want to help them get rid of that. Get rid of that pain, get rid of that suffering so that they can see that they are worth more. That they can have more if they just get out of their own way and start treating other people with respect. If you want respect, treat others with respect. If you want compassion, treat others with compassion. If you want understanding, treat others with understanding. And if you want love, treat yourself with some love so that you can learn to accept love and give love to others. If people tell me, like, some people I was in when I was in the psychiatric unit, I would speak like this. I would just go around happy as can be, speaking like this. And I had one of the nurses look at me and say, you should take that in your room. You shouldn't talk like that out here. It's like, really? Well, maybe you shouldn't be in that position or that job. But I'm the bitch. Why am I the bitch? Because I'm not taking the shit no more? I've said it before, but I've had somebody throw shade on me and tell me I was wrong because I said God helps those who help themselves. And I've said it. You know that God is helping you when you are helping yourself, when you are bringing yourself out because you're allowing yourself to come up. You're allowing yourself to see that stuff. You're allowing yourself to feel it. Instead of listening to somebody that says, oh, well, get over it. You got to feel it. You got to allow yourself to experience it so that you can get over it. And to that person that told me that people need, like that the collective needs to get over it, did you fucking get over it yet? This is spirit to spirit. You want me to treat you with respect? How about showing me some? Instead of coming and trying to drain my fucking energy because you're too busy fucking trying to be there. Oh, well, I'm going. I don't go out with people. I'll talk to people. But right now, I find it hard to even want to be or try to be in a friendship because it's always like you're in competition when you don't even want to be in competition, or you don't even freaking know you're in competition and you're being treated like a piece of shit. Have I ever tried? Oh, when I was in track and field, that's the kind of competition. But I will not fight over a man. And I don't expect a man to fight over me. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the medical system, what I experienced, where you're supposed to be able to go to these people, but they don't listen because they're too busy looking at fucking theory, opposed to actually listening to what the patient is describing. Like in that video with that doctor, what I was actually describing was something that was a damage to the scrotum, a damage to the body. I was spitting up friggin' blood. I can bang too, boy. No, I ain't done. So am I going to just freely give people my respect now? Whereas before? No, I'm not. And it's not because of a bad boy. I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt. But it doesn't mean that I have to be around that person all the time. And it's not about coming and going and trying to siphon someone else's life essence, energy, or what have you. Start looking at the things that you don't want to look at, the things that you just don't want to see because it's going to fucking hurt to come up. Doctors didn't help me. The collective helped me. My angels, my spirit guides, my ancestors, my family in the spirit realm is what helped me. But people will say, you're fucking crazy. You're delusional. You're psychotic. You have psychosis. You're describing everything on a spiritual level, on a spirit level. But People got to you got to have your statistics. Everybody is a statistic. Take your statistics and shove them up your ass. Because I'm not your statistic. And nor is anyone else. Psychoanalyzing people. How about feeling on a spirit level? So we're supposed to be learning, like, you want to help someone. Be it spirit to spirit. Because when you're like these two spirits, with me and the others around me, they treat me like these spirits have a history. And it goes way back. I said before, I'm not in here to get followers. I'm not in here to get gifts or money or what have you. Jesus didn't come for followers. He came to create leaders. So you can lead yourself into where you want to be in life. It's the self-empowerment, not trying to gain power over someone else because you think it's going to make you feel good. Well, what are you going to do when that person that you're trying to have power over, what are you going to do when that person finds their own power and they come fighting back like a fucking lion or tiger? You're not going to like it. And then you're just going to spread rumors of, oh, how bad this person is and how they treated you. It's like, hey, have you thought about or looked at how you freaking treated that person? This is not directed towards any specific person, per se. This is directed towards the part that is freaking not wanting to look at itself, but just wants to freaking throw shade on other people. And I'm not throwing shade on you. I'm saying what I had to go through to get to where I am today. I've even experienced bad stuff on the spirit realm from things that I couldn't even freaking see, but I was going through it. But I would be told that you have psychosis, you're psychotic. Have you ever been raped on the spirit realm? Where you were fighting something that you couldn't see? And then someone comes in and you tell them what just happened and they blame you because your shirt is way up here and your pants are down and you're screaming fucking bloody blue murder for help for 2 freaking hours? But before it happens, you have something else happen and you see them, but you're not seeing them in that physical world. You're seeing them in a fucking mirror. When I seen this before, like the part of being raped, when I seen it, I felt it. And I felt them come into my home. And I will describe what I seen. When I glanced in my mirror, I seen it. But when I looked in my rear, this part of the world, in this part in front of my physical eye, I couldn't see it. But when I looked in the mirror, I could see there was three people, 3 beings, what have you, that were standing behind one of my speakers when I looked in the mirror. But when I looked in my physical vision, they weren't there. But they appeared to be 2 male figures, twins. And then there was one that appeared to have like black hair. They were kind of grayish color and they were wearing a blue tight uniform. And then on my couch, I had 2 other ones, one at each end. One looked like an extremely large person that would go about 10 foot tall with a long beard, long hair, very like, and then the other one, very Mongolian-like. And then I was told I was in trouble. was guided to my room, and then I was raped on a spiritual plane where I could not see. I was fighting for my life, and people don't want to believe that. But you want to hear the funny part? Which wasn't actually so freaking funny, because when I got to the place that I was going and I went to use the bathroom, I had freaking semen coming out of me. And I wasn't having sex with anyone. And if somebody wants to laugh, all the power to you. Disikotoriesa. And I went through a lot. I have right now, I have no respect for the medical system, or a lot of the ones in the in that part, the ones that I came across. I have no respect for them. Because if you can treat someone like that, that's not the job you should be in. Because to me, you're only there because you want to hurt people. You want to dominate people. You want to have power over people. Does our systems need to change? Yes. And there's gonna there's gonna be change. And you're that change. Your story is that change. You being able to allow yourself to feel what it is and experience what it is and bring it up, instead of keeping it bottled up inside and making and everybody else wearing it. Because there were a good many times that like I said, I still couldn't hate the people for it. And I still can't. Because I still love them no matter what. That's the part of forgiveness. That's why I say what you go through, and it's like not wishing it on my worst enemy, because it was hell. And when people try to drag you back into their hell, it's a part of finding your own hope. Instead of saying that you want this, you want that, it's like I said before, want in one hand and shit in the other, and see which one gets filled first. Because as long as you keep wanting something and you don't do the work to be able to bring yourself up, to have the things that you'd like to see for yourself, you're going to keep wanting it. And it's not about getting it by doing it on the backs of others. I'm not going to throw harm back at you. I've already been ripped apart in the spirit realm. I've already had stuff happen. I've seen Jesus, and I've seen that one darkness, and I've seen the cup, I've seen the swarms. It's like, a lot of people have seen it or have experienced it, and they're afraid to tell someone. because of what someone will think or say about them. If someone wants to say shit about you, let them, because they don't know you. They don't know what you've been through, what you experienced. And if you were in my life and I let you go and I don't talk to you now, it's for a reason. If I was helping you or guiding you and then all of a sudden I just stopped, it's for a reason. And it's not always about, for me, it's about others finding themselves and seeing things for themselves, because I can't make you see anything. I can't make you do the work. And I can't do it for you. The only thing I can do is help you bring it up and let it go. It's not about what I want for myself, because yes, I do want good things for myself, but the good things that I want for myself, I want those same good things for everyone else. But some don't see that. They just want to try to bring that other person down so they can have someone on their level, or someone that they can keep beneath them so that they feel inferior in power. But that's not true. That's not, you may feel like it's power. I am power over me. Like when I first started this video today, I could feel that part that was saying, no, you can't bring this forward because no one will understand. No one will get what you're saying. It's like, you know what? I don't give a shit. Because it's as long as I understand and I know what I've experienced, and then I know that no matter what, I still have a caring heart for these people, because I know that they've been through their own shit throughout lifetimes. But it's like, hey, when enough is enough, if I come back at you, it's because that's the part that you're going to give, you're going to receive what you put out. And I know, like, it seems like I put out a bunch of crap and it's like, oh, you're throwing shade on people, but that's not what I'm doing. Because I'm saying that you can come out of this if you truly and really want to. You're keeping yourself stuck because it feels easier. Like I was put in these positions for God to say, hey, you're going to get through this. And we all show each other the steps, the way to come out. And if somebody doesn't listen to you, or they just want to shun you and blow you off, and then still keep living in their misery and saying about what they want out of life and what they want out of life and what have you, but they don't want to go get it, or they don't want to do the work to get it, that's on them. So just put it back to them. Say, hey, that's how you feel. It's not how I feel. because I get the feelings of like the crushing of the heart or trying to rip the heart out and stuff like that, the psychic attacks, and that's okay. Because that in some cases it's like, you know, are you seeing something? Is it making you see something about yourself that you don't want to see? And it's not just me that does this. There are many people out there that are the reflection. Because I know that there are people out there that have been through similar things. Maybe not on the same scale or in the same way. But we've all been through things. And we're here to guide each other, to help one another, to give that helping hand, not for somebody to drag you under the water with them, because I had that experience in my vision, dream, what have you. It was like I went in the water and I went down deep. And when I went down deep, I didn't think I was going to make it out. I kept treading and trying to get up. I'd go so far and I'd be stuck. And I'd go and be stuck. And then all of a sudden it was just like, you know, the kundalini. It's like the kundalini. It's coming up. And then it goes pop. Some people, it happens slowly. Some people, it's just like, it's like it just pops right out and it's like, holy shit, man, I'm going crazy. But you're not going crazy. And right now, that's a lot of what's happening with suicide. It's because the people that, like, it's not about handing someone a pill and say, here, take that pill, because it's just going to suppress it. Did you ever be given a pill and then you go read the side effects and you're there because you have suicidal tendencies, and then you read the side effects and, oh, suicidal thoughts, one of the side effects. Well, wasn't I there because I was having suicidal thoughts and you're giving me something that gives me suicidal thoughts even more? Or you have a self-esteem problem with your weight and they give you a pill that the side effect is weight gain? They said, it makes no sense to me. I know, because I went through it. I even had people tell me I was anorexic because I got sick. After my car accident, I was 130 and I went up to 184. My car accident was 2006. By 2008, 2009, I was up to 184. And within less than 6 months, I dropped down to 94 pounds because I couldn't eat. The only thing that I was able to eat for the most part was friggin' Mr. Noodles. I've even posted pictures on my Facebook, and I did. I looked like freaking death walking. And it went on and on and on, and experience after experience. But I still continued to see that there's good in people. And if somebody wants to show like they're good, like 1 minute, oh, well, I'll be good as gold. And then like, I'll feel like I'm going to pull you in. And then I'm going to be a fucking cocksucking motherfucker. Excuse my French. But they'll just keep coming back to me. Or I'm going to be an a-hole. But they'll just keep coming back to me. It's like, no, you know, I see through you. Now, when you do that, you mightn't like what comes out of my mouth. But just keeping in mind that not necessarily is it that aspect of me, but it's the aspect of my ancestors, of my spirit guides, of my family, in the spirit realm that's saying, hey, you know, buddy, we're girl or what have you, we're not going to let you treat her or this person like this anymore. She's going to fight back, or he's going to stand. They're going to stand up for themselves. And people don't like that. Especially if you were someone that didn't. When I was younger, I stood up to the bullies for other people. And then I got into my first relationship. And my self-esteem went down because I was experiencing things that were hard on the psyche. I even tried to take my life because like the relationship kind of went tits up for a bit, and I was trying to get back, I'd like get there, and I had no way to get there because we were going to try to work on it. But so I overdosed, and that was at 17. And when I was there, I'd sit in front of the TV, and they'd have the Tiny Toons on. And the song would come on. It said, "We're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony, and in this cartoony, we're invading your TV. But I still kept going. It was like, you go down, it's picking yourself back up again and finding the good. I see the good in people. I see that I see the nasty. I see the hardness. I see the pain. I see the suffering. I see the anger, and it come from somewhere. And I know that like things from the karma that we live, it's like the karma of our ancestors, and we're here to break that karma. And some people don't understand that. Like I said, I've had someone tell me, well, that's satanic or that's demonic or what have you, because they experienced something from 99. And it went that way because I didn't understand what I was going through. I didn't understand what I was experiencing. And the church didn't really explain anything to me. The church that did the exorcism on me. And that part, they helped me there. But there wasn't a lot of explanation as to what I was experiencing. I knew what I was experiencing to a point. But I didn't at the same time. And then the last time that I called the church to get help with the spiritual aspect of it, because I didn't understand, and they're supposed to have the knowledge, because it's said in the Bible, in the text, no matter what biblical text you're looking at, it all pertains to the same thing. It's just it's worded differently, or it's from different timelines. And it's found because everything was coming together. But they kept other stuff out. But when I went for spiritual guidance, it was not there. Even when I went on these things on YouTube or people like coming up and saying about their services and stuff like that. It's like whenever I really tried asking a question or talking to someone, they didn't want to help. Even though I had donated money a few times, or a time or something like that, and I joined their Patreon and stuff like that. I've helped people that don't ask for money. I don't ask for anything in return. The only thing I want to see in return is people healing. Somebody just said you need money to live. Yeah. But I know that the universe gives me the things that I need when I need them. So it's, to me, it's not about that. It's like thinking of money. Okay, you say you need money. Are you living above your means? Said it about credit cards. If you're getting a credit card, you're living above your means. And these other places, they don't care. Think of, you go and you buy, like, okay, say a loaf of bread and a half gallon of milk. Okay. You're already saying you're paying high prices for it. Milk is actually more expensive than gas. And you're paying these high prices already. And you use a credit card. Most credit cards are 19% interest. So not only are you paying the expensive prices for what you're buying, but you're also paying another 19% interest on top of it. And they go and they advertise this stuff on TV or on the radio. Oh, get your credit. Come get your credit. Come to the bank and get your credit. We'll give you good credit. Oh, you'll pass for credit. Yay. Oh, I got credit. Yeah, I know how to create debt. And that's kind of the same as your body when you don't see things for what it truly is. It's like credit is like karma, creating a debt. So if I were to, like, if somebody was throwing an attack at me, I want to stop my karma. So if I want to stop my karma and somebody wants to throw something at me, giving it, like shooting it back at them, is only creating more karma for me because it's going to come back at me again. So it's hit. You hit me, I'm hitting you. You hit me, I'm hitting you. So it just becomes that same thing over and over again. It's a history of repeating yourself. So you're wondering, like, how you get out of the karma debt. Well, you get out of the karma debt by not sending something back at someone. Have I ever, like, not wished someone to die or anything like that, or any harm, like real harm, come to them? But like, I've seen, like, when I've gotten pissed off at this person, I've actually seen on a different level where it was like my ancestors, or a part of my spirit from my ancestry line, where I actually took this person and threw them through the wall for the way they treated someone. It's not about, like, somebody of how you've treated women and children. It's about how you've treated each other. And we want all this madness, we want all this pain and suffering to stop. But the only time it's going to stop is when we stop throwing shit back at each other. Because it's not helping no one. It's not helping you. It's not helping the collective as a whole. So that's why I say, when you throw your attacks at me, it's like, I'm right here. If you feel that it's helping you, well, I guess you're going to throw attacks at me. But I'm not going to throw something back. Even though there's a part in there that wants to, because I know that I don't have to throw anything back at you. Because you're causing your own self that harm. You're causing yourself that pain, and you wonder why. Well, how many ill feelings are you having about someone? What are you throwing in that person? And I've said it. Some may like me, some may hate me, some may love me, some may loathe me. Some may think that I think of myself like my shit don't stink, but I'm here to tell you, my shit stinks just as bad as everybody else, and I try to run from myself when it stinks. It's not about one person, like it's not the pedestal. It's not about like somebody having to feel down on themselves because they might get ahead of you. Like I said, do I want good things for myself? Yes, I do. But what I want for myself is what I want for everybody else. And that's where you stop that's where you stop karma. Because I did a video on karma. And karma is just a vicious circle. It's like you come in, oh, well, you got to wear your karma. The only way you're going to stop wearing your karma is if you stop sending those attacks back. Because it's just going to keep it, like I said, it's going to keep it back and forth. And I said it. Jesus, Yeshua, however you refer to, did not come to find followers. And every time he healed with faith, but it was like he was taking on that person's stuff. We take on others' energy, and then it's like you can't take it no more. And it's like it kind of explodes. It's not about having things handed to you on a silver platter because you want this or you want that. There's nothing wrong with having things. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy or what have you. It's the part of, are you getting there on the backs of others? Are you harming others? Are you trampling over others so you can get ahead? Or are you getting through it? Are you helping someone else up so that they too can get through it? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. We're here to flourish together as a family. We say this is a modern civilization. Where the frig is it really modern? When we continue to cause harm to one another. Where is it like modern in the things that we have because everything is so suppressed? This is not the modern world. The modern world is where everyone blooms, blossoms, flourishes, where everyone becomes a butterfly, where everyone is a leader of themselves and not having to say like, oh, I want to, like, I'm going to follow this person. Or I want to be this person, or I want to be like this person, or what have you. Why do you want to be that person? Why do you want to be like that person? Why not be you? Why not be what you want to be? Not who you see on a TV. Because when you're watching these shows, it's like they're characters. They're playing a role. Play your own role. Sing to your own music. Dance to your own beat. It's not about looking up and saying, like, idolizing that per se. It's like, maybe they can be a mentor and give you a direction and say, like, you want to be accomplished. You want to have those great things. But it's the part of doing the work to get them. And there are people out there that are there to help you get that, but they can't do the work for you. Can walk together, walk side by side. It's not about pulling ahead or pulling back, because I can't drag you ahead, and it's not about me falling back, because we all get there. But if you get to where that person is, or where somebody wants to be but they don't know how to get there, it's the part of showing them how. Like, I know that, like, throughout, like, the millenniums, what have you, when they come from the skies and they brought things to the people. And I've heard that, like, they just give it to them and it was up to them to figure out how to use it, and they've decided to use it for bad. It's not about just giving it to them. You can't just give it to them and say, here, it's your free will of how you use it. It's showing them the proper way to use it. So if you gave them something and you didn't show them how to use it and they blew themselves up, you say, well, that's on them. Well, you brought it to them. You didn't show them how to use it when that's what you were supposed to be doing. And then you're shitting on them because they didn't use it properly or the way it was meant to be used. Well, that's because you didn't show them. When you have the tools, that's the part of showing. I've told people many times, like, when you get, it's like a pressure that comes in. It's like a whole pressure. Okay, that's a bunch coming in at the same time. It's about going like that. And then you're kind of giving yourself breathing room. It's part of the meditation. Yes, I meditate. I meditate differently. I don't always sit there and om. I just take myself to a state of being. Do I do yoga? No. Because I can get in a meditative state, but I'm full of energy. I want to dance. And right now, it's kind of like I dance to my own drum, but I want to dance with others that are dancing to their own drum. Sometimes I dance around my house. I went out last weekend, and I don't usually go out. And I went out, and oh, wow. Did it ever feel good to just be able to go out and just dance? And I don't dance with, and it's not about me going and dancing with people, like having somebody that I'm dancing with, because I was dancing mainly by myself. I wasn't paying attention to what was around me. I just needed to let go. Wasn't caring if anybody was watching or not, because I was just with me and God, Spirit. We were dancing. No, like I said, I don't go out much. that was, well, I went out once in the summertime. I didn't enjoy myself. I had fun dancing because I love to dance. I love to sing. And I like seeing others doing it because it's a good way to let loose. It's a big part of the heart and soul. It's a big part of spirit. You look at our ancestors, they had a lot of rituals and stuff where there was dance. It's part of our history. It's part of our ancestral line, whether it's the ancestors from here on earth or whether it's our ancestors from afar. Oh, shoot. I just noticed that I didn't have my phone plugged in. I thought I had it plugged in. So don't take this as me throwing shade on you or anything like that, or looking for any kind of attention. It's bringing forward that you're not alone on this journey. You're not alone in the experiencing things. It's that part of being able to release it. It's not like somebody telling you to like get over it, because it takes time and it takes that feeling of it. And it's not about going in and seeing someone for an hour and then going home and feeling the same way that you did when you went in. Because when you are releasing it, you will know that you are releasing it, because you will feel that release. And you will experience it like letting go. And that's what I do. That's what I'm here to do, is to help people let that go. It's that part of like mourning. It's okay to mourn that part of you that you're releasing, that you're letting go of, because it's the part of you that needs to be let go in order to move forward. Because when it's causing you harm, that's what's holding you back. It's not someone else holding you back. It's what you're feeling within yourself. Whether you're feeling guilt or shame or regret or what have you, you don't need to feel that. It's holding on to it is what keeps you feeling that way. But it's the letting go part of it. And when you like I said, when you let go of it and you really let go of it and you don't just bury it deep again, you actually allow yourself to just release it out. That's when you start growing with it. That's when you start coming up from that's where you come up from the pit of your stomach. And I said it. You are like Pandora's box. Okay? And those secrets, those traumas, those burdens, those feelings that you have deep down in here, you're getting angry because that's trying to come up and you keep pushing it back down. That's hope down there that's trying to push up. Hope is saying, hey, I'm coming. You got to let me come up. Because if you don't let it come up, it becomes explosive. So it doesn't matter how many of you have hurt me in the past, or what they call the past, present, or what have you. So I know that it's happened. I know that you're dealing with something that's not necessarily because it's probably because I'm showing you something that you don't want to see, or that you want to be there, or you want to experience inner freedom. I'm here to help you through it. If you talk to me, I'm not going to say you got an hour. It's like you take the time that you need. It's when you feel, okay, I need to stop for now. I've had some releases. Okay? I don't know. I hope this left people feeling a little better and more confident in themselves to know that, like, you can come up out of that dismay, what have you. I'm going to read. There are two ways of spreading light: to be a candle or a mirror that reflects it. Okay? So, the light. This is energy. With that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. I want you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself, be your authentic self. Be true to yourself, be true to others. And when you're being authentic, be who you are, not who somebody says you are or that you have to be. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and know that you are more powerful and you have more strength than what you can comprehend sometimes. Teresa, today. Love you. Yeah. My finger's not working. No, Teresa, todo eso lo me quería. Isso